Hey, this is April.
And Sarah.
Welcome to Enjoy the Chaos.
So we started a podcast.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
We're
we did.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So April and I met back in November of 21.
Yeah.
Yes, 2021.
That's right.
And always had this dream or vision of doing the dumbest thing and having a jams and jellies conglomerate.
Yes.
So in talking about my jams and jellies with April, it really came down to, it wasn't about jams and jellies at all. It came down to the fact that in my previous life at my job, I always had to be the worst version of myself. As an HR professional, it just was the crappiest thing to have to, there was a negative connotation when people would see me. Like any interaction I had with people at work, it was negative. And jams and jellies was a way for me to get in front of people and it only be positive. Like, who gets mad about jams and jellies? Like,
No one.
No one. And so when we got down to the root of it, it really was about being in front of people, some way to connect that was positive and fun, and not at all about the fact that I wanted to be in my kitchen for 6 hours a day making damn jams and jellies.
So true.
So when April and I met, April also likes to talk, be in front of people, and interact. And what is something fun? What is something we can do? And so then we started tossing around the idea about a podcast.
We did. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Fast forward to a conference that we were at.
Yes.
And we had this aha moment that we have to start this podcast.
Funny story, we have a mascot. Her name's Pig.
You'll meet Pig later in the world.
You'll meet Pig later. It's going to be super fun.
Okay.
Bringing her in.
So we're at this conference.
Yes. Entre Leadership.
Dave Ramsey conference. And we're
Amazing.
hearing from the founder of It Cosmetics.
She's great.
What was her? Jamie Lynn?
Jamie Kern,
Yes.
Yep.
And she talks about listening to the no versus the knowing.
Yeah, that gut feeling.
The gut feeling. And we're like, okay, we have to do this. Stars have aligned.
Yeah.
April and I, ready to talk.
Yes.
Enter our editor-producer, B, who is behind the scenes and will come into play here and there throughout episodes and videos and things like that. So she's going to be the mastermind behind it all.
That's right. Producer, editor. Yes.
To get it all up. And you have Enjoy the Chaos.
Enjoy the Chaos. Yeah, I remember sitting around. We heard Jamie, right, at the conference. And of course, there was some time in between speakers. And so what Sarah and I did, is what everybody should do at a conference. When you have a little time, you grab a canned cocktail. We grabbed a canned mimosa.
Yes.
We picked a table by the pool. And then we started talking about, like, hey, I think we really need to do this.
Yes.
This really needs to be something that we put in place.
Yes.
And so that's really how it was born. Like the name was not there. It was really like our aha moment. We've got to do it.
So we knew the
love
content.
that.
We knew what we want to talk about.
Yes.
And what we want to talk about is everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
April and I both just turned 40 this year.
Woo woo.
Oh. Well,
Yes.
much more positive about it than
I turned it in March. So we'll say this. I turned it 40 in March.
She's had a little bit more time to settle in with it than I have.
Sarah in July.
Yes, I turned 40 in July.
So it's been fun.
So kind of what we talked about was there has to be more people than just the two of us that sit around and talk about what a shit show their life is behind the scenes, but how they have to have it all together.
That's right.
But you also, you find this balance between how do you embrace all these moments as mothers? How do we enjoy all these little things that our kids are doing?
That's right.
While also balancing it all.
Yeah.
While figuring out how to be professionals, how to be good moms, how to be good friends, how to be good wives, how to be
so true.
Not 40 in a world that doesn't want you to be 40, but also embracing the fact that we're turning 40 and we've earned this. I mean, there's a lot that comes along with the fact that I've done some things and I should be able to just be 40 if I want to be 40.
So it's chaotic.
And so that's where the name came in, Enjoy the Chaos, because that's what we're in. That's the phase of life that we're in.
That's it.
And who knows how long we'll be here. We may be in the chaos for 10 years or 20 years or the rest of our lives, but we want to enjoy it.
That's right.
And we want you to enjoy it. So we want to figure out how we're all going to enjoy it together.
That's right.
Right.
And I feel like people, are going through the same things that we go through every single day. It's that challenge of trying to be the person you really want to be, but sometimes you're putting up this front, right?
Right.
So behind the scenes, it's not always as it seems. I think there's so many people out there that needs to hear they're not alone, right? It is, we too, on the daily, struggle, just like she said, with the marriages, with the children, with our jobs and whatnot. So we're both leaders. Currently, our other job, right?
Our real job.
Our real job is we're both leaders in that, and we have been for a while. So
Yes.
both Sarah and I both have been leaders in big organizations prior to where we are now. And I think it's that balance. It can be so chaotic, but if you just really take a step back, at the end of the day, enjoy it, right? Life is too short, and enjoying the chaos is really, to me, when actually B helped us with the name and she brought it to us.
On a little Post-it.
On a little
I
Post-it.
didn't want to say it out loud, just slid the
and she
Post-it.
did.
Like,
Slid the Post-it.
what do you think about this?
What do you know this? And we're like, brilliant.
Yes.
That's exactly what we need to do to enjoy the chaos.
When you know, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we'll talk about everything, right?
Yes.
We'll talk about absolutely everything, our lives, lots of fun topics already on
Deck,
the deck for the next several episodes. So we're super excited about that. So Sarah, tell us a little about you.
So I am a mother of one. I have one child, my little heart, my little big boy, one son, and then I am married to a small business owner.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of struggles that come along with that as well. Because when we first got married, we've been married for 11 years.
Yeah.
And when we first got married, I used to joke about that I was going to tie his wedding ring to the shop door because I came third. There's work, and then there's CrossFit, which is a whole other episode.
That's
And then there's me.
Yeah.
But now, 11 years later, I've really learned to appreciate that and admire the drive that he has and the work that it takes to be a small business owner. And not only a small business owner, but like a literally jar, one man show. Like one man show. So that's where we're at. And then we have 2 fur babies. We have Pig and we have Riggs. And we're definitely those crazy dog people.
Yeah.
And
that's your babies first,
and
right?
We're both Albany natives. We moved away, got sucked back into the vortex,
came
back home, and we are enjoying the chaos of our lives as we're doing it right now.
That's right. I love that.
And what about you, April?
So I am married to Chad. So Chad and I have been married 19 years. The Chad. So we've been married 19 years come February, and we have 2 girls. And so we have a 15-year-old. That's probably an episode as well. And then we have a 9-year-old. And so, life can get chaotic raising a teenager. I remember as they were growing up thinking it was a challenge, but it is even more so a challenge today. Right. It's just a different dynamic. And I think about how we were raised as children. It's different. It's a different day.
Yes.
Right. And I think for us, we have to learn how to navigate that.
Yes.
And so I do have my 2 girls. I too have 2 fur babies. One is a baby, 2 English cockers.
You're in that puppy phase of life.
Yes, I have one older dog and then one younger dog. So we too love the dogs. And we love the outdoors. So Chad too, much like Gene, he's not a small business owner, but he too is that powerhouse. So loves doing what he does every day. But it's hard.
Right.
So he sells insurance.
Yeah. Anytime you're in sales.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. And I think we could probably bring up the C word. That's probably made it even worse. But at the same time, we still have to continue life. Right. We still have to enjoy it, every day. Every day, I think we learn something different. And being together 19 years and technically probably around 22 overall in total, we learned a lot, And so I think that it is easier to navigate now. But man, there were some years that probably could be another episode of really learning how to navigate a husband, in those early years.
100%. Like that is definitely on the list.
That can be challenging sometimes. So,
all right, fun fact about April, how tall are you?
Oh man. Okay, so fun story. So I played basketball. So if you saw me, you'd be like, what? You're such a cheerleader. But no. So on any program that was ever printed for basketball, it stated that I was 5'3".
Yes.
That's not accurate. I'm like maybe 5 foot total. My mother, she was like 4'9". So she was super. So I have a short family. Chad's got a short.
Yes.
We're just short. We're a short family.
But I just found that so interesting about
I'm
you.
very short. So when I stand up and I'm super short, you'll know.
Because when I met her, I was like, oh, here we go. Obvious cheerleader.
I know,
and she's like,
right?
no, I play basketball.
Yeah, I
I'm
play
sorry,
softball.
what? Like, you
Yes.
did what?
I do.
And like, not even just like through the sports your parents forced you to do, like through college, like officially.
do that. That was the thing. I
Yes.
did do that. Okay.
So, yes.
No doubt. That was
I love
fun.
that. So,
Yeah.
how many times have you talked about starting something
Oh my gosh.
and not done it because you were afraid of being judged for it?
Yeah, I think that's an amazing question. And I think the podcast is a perfect place to start.
Yes.
Because I think for so long, even for me prior to meeting Sarah, there was something deep down that I felt like we talked about the gut feeling, but at the same time, I feel like there was something more.
Right.
There was something more that I need to be doing. Right. And I didn't really know exactly what that was.
Right.
But meeting you, of course, and then we started talking about the podcast, you still had those, even if it was people, even if it was, that little voice, it was like, you're not going to be good enough. You're not going to, why would you waste your time?
Right.
That's too much money, blase, blase. All of those things that keep being put at the forefront makes people stop,
Yes.
and I think today, where we are and even having the first episode, I'm super excited to even check that box off.
Mm-hmm.
As we were getting ready, we were doing wallpaper, Sarah and there were so many fun things that we did together to get ready for this. But at the same time, I know there's other people out there that is just waiting.
Right.
They have the wait. Like,
right.
they're afraid somebody will say something negative. And I think for us, this podcast is all about positivity.
Yes.
I think positivity for us is probably at our forefront. We believe in love, we believe in kindness, and that's what we want to make sure that everybody else receives when they hear our stories, right?
Right.
So I think the podcast is a huge example
Yes.
of that. Oh my gosh, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. That judgment of,
and you think about that,
I
like,
want to be judged.
even in like the smallest little things, because we definitely are our own worst critics.
Yes.
And I think
100%.
women specifically, we will pick ourselves apart about things that nobody else is going to even notice.
It's so true.
And it's even things from like what you pick to wear
Yes.
to, what you talk about at a party or when you speak up on something that maybe you're passionate about.
Yes.
But it's against the norm. Like, we're so quick to go inside of ourselves when we really need to be using our voices and we really need to be just being our true selves.
That's exactly right.
Because at the end of the day, who cares?
That's right. That's exactly right.
If you're happy
Yes.
and you're doing something that brings you joy and you're not hurting anybody,
That's
obviously.
right.
And this is what we want to do. We want to have a platform we're going to have guests that come on
Yes.
and talk about how they have managed their chaos, how they've either conquered it or they're living through it, and or just being true to who they are.
That's right.
I told April and B, when I put up the first teaser for the podcast, I immediately thought, oh my God, oh crap, what have we done?
She did the thing.
Who's going to care?
She started thinking,
Who cares what we have to say?
That's
Nobody's going to listen. What have we done? And
That's
now
right.
I put this out there that we're doing something. So obviously you have to have
We
some
have
follow
to
through
do-
because if you put it on
Yes.
social media, it has to be true. And then I got on my Peloton because
Yes.
I'm not an
Yes.
avid Peloton rider, but I do love my Peloton.
Yes.
And the ride I happened to take that day was one of Robin Arzon's rides. And one of the things that she said is that the voice in your head can be a hater or an advocate,
Yes.
but you get to choose.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
That's
oh my
right.
gosh, I've just let my little voice turn into a hater.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
so I'm turning it into an advocate.
That's exactly
And,
right.
and this is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing.
And this is what we're doing.
I'm so happy about it. I could not be more excited to be on this journey with Sarah and B. And I think it is, coming into deciding that we're going to do this and do the podcast, I think it is so much of sharing to the world who we really are.
Yes.
And
which is scary.
it is super scary.
It's very
It is scary when you
scary.
lay your head down at night.
Yes.
There are those thoughts in your head about, oh my gosh, people's going to hear. But at the same time, I love what you said about be you.
Right.
At the end of the day, I think no matter what, I think our husbands are with us because they love us. And I think maybe. I think so. But at the end of the day, being true to ourselves. And I love some topics that are going to come up about some Botox. We have, back to school. There's so many things that's coming. But there's so many things that even people judge on those things.
Right.
100%. And, I think just be you. Yes. I think at the end of the day, I think that's so much, I will say, when people talk about that judgment of whatever it is, you know what? Step back and enjoy it.
Right.
Hence the name, which
Enjoy
is what I love.
right. Yes.
I think it is absolutely spot on. Yes. People are put in your lives for a reason. Yes. I will say that. And I truly believe that from the bottom of my heart.
Yes.
And so I could not be more pleased and excited about
because how else would the three of us, be April and I, all come together on the same platform.
Yes.
And all have the same interest.
Oh
I mean,
gosh.
So just the stars have aligned.
Yes.
And here we are.
Here we are.
And
so excited.
And one little thing that we're going to do every episode is we're going to have a little cocktail time where we review a cocktail or just talk about a cocktail or something that we found that we liked, something that we, or we're just going to try for the first time.
That's right.
And today we have
yes,
some just your basic Prosecco. Wait for it.
Just wait.
Wait for it.
Yes,
everybody's favorite sound. Everybody's favorite sound. Yes. Now this is just a brand that I happen to like, so I think you could do with any Prosecco. And then we found these super cute Tea-Espressos instant champagne cocktail kits. And where'd you get these, April?
So I got these at the Maine. Abby Hember, who does my hair, she lives in Sylvester. Her shop is in Sylvester. So when you go in to the left, there's this cute little shop. It's almost like a little boutique. So hats, jewelry, she has all sorts of things. But these were in the back. And of course, if there is some sort of cocktail thing, I'm drawn to it, right? So have to try it. So these are there. There is strawberry peach. And I can't remember the last one. Yes, blackberry. And so you just put one in.
They're just these precious little sugar cubes that you add to just whatever. You can do champagne, you can do Prosecco. I feel like it would probably be better with the sparkling.
Yes.
Because that does make a fun little fizz. Who doesn't love a little fizz?
Me too, 100%.
And so today we're going to try the strawberry.
Yes, I love it. And I think, the ones, it doesn't make it too sweet, right? We may or may not have tried the peach.
Yeah, we may have. Yeah, we may have already cheated and had a little bit of the peach.
That's right.
But I feel like the strawberry is going to be the jam.
Strawberry is the jam. Think about strawberry and champagne.
Yes.
So we appreciate you joining us. Yes. Right?
And we hope to see you weekly.
Yeah, this will be weekly. And so until then,
Sam, enjoy the chaos.
Enjoy the chaos. Bye, y'all.